If you've ever felt a knot in your stomach when thinking about your finances, if you've worried about living paycheck to paycheck, felt the weight of debt, or simply felt uncertain about your financial future, you are in the right place. Imagine a life where you feel in control of your money, where financial stress is replaced by a sense of security and freedom, where your money works for you, helping you build the life you desire. This isn't a far-fetched dream, it's an achievable reality. The purpose of this audiobook is to demystify personal finance. We're here to break down what can often seem like a complex and intimidating subject into actionable, easy-to-follow steps. Our goal is to empower you, our listener, to take genuine control of your financial destiny, no matter your starting point. This audiobook is for everyone. While the core principles of money management are universal, we'll touch upon examples relevant to listeners in the US, the UK, and India, but rest assured, the strategies we discuss can be applied globally. This is the Money Deconstructed approach, simplifying complex topics to make them accessible to all. Over the course of this audiobook, we will guide you through a clear roadmap. We'll start by helping you understand your current financial situation. Then, we'll move into the practicalities of creating a budget that truly works for you. We'll explore the vital role of saving, tackle the often daunting subject of debt management, introduce you to the world of investing, and finally, help you piece it all together with long-term financial planning. Before we dive in, a quick note. This audiobook is for educational purposes. The information provided is general in nature and not a substitute for personalized financial advice from a qualified professional. Always consider your own unique circumstances or consult with an expert when making financial decisions. Now, let's embark on step 1. Know your numbers, the financial health checkup. Understanding your current financial standing is absolutely non-negotiable. It's like wanting to go on a road trip. You first need to know where you are on the map. This financial snapshot is your starting point. So how do we get this picture? We begin by calculating your net worth. Your net worth is a simple yet powerful indicator of your financial health. It's what you own minus what you owe. Let's define these terms. Assets are everything you own that has monetary value. This includes the cash in your bank accounts, your savings, and any investments you might have. For instance, if you're in the United States, this could be your 401k or IRA. For our UK listeners, think about your ISAs or SIPP. And in India, this could be your public provident fund, employees' provident fund, or mutual fund investments. Don't forget to include the value of significant possessions like property you own or the current market value of your vehicle. On the other side of the equation are your liabilities. These represent everything you owe to others. Common liabilities include credit card debt, student loans, mortgages on your property, or any personal loans you've taken out. To calculate your net worth, you simply subtract your total liabilities from your total assets. The resulting number, whether positive or negative, gives you a clear measure of your financial position today. Next, it's crucial to track your income. Identify all the streams from which money flows to you. For many, this will primarily be a salary from employment, but it could also include income from freelance work, profits from a business, earnings from investments, or any other sources. It's also important to understand the difference between your gross income, which is the total amount earned before any deductions, and your net income, which is the actual amount you take home after taxes and other withholdings. Once you have a clear picture of your income, the next step is to meticulously track your expenses. This is about understanding where your money actually goes each month. Expenses can generally be categorized into 2 types. First, there are fixed expenses. These are costs that typically remain the same each month, such as your rent or mortgage payment, loan installments, and subscription services. Second, you have variable expenses. These are costs that can fluctuate, like your grocery bills, entertainment spending, and utilities that change based on usage. There are various tools and techniques you can use for tracking your expenses. Many people find budgeting apps very helpful. Some are even designed for international use. Others prefer using spreadsheets, where they can customize their tracking. And of course, the traditional notebook method, where you manually write down every expenditure, can still be very effective. The key is to find a method that you're comfortable with and can stick to. As you track, you'll begin to identify what we call money leaks, those small, often unnoticed expenses that add up over time, and you'll gain insight into your discretionary spending habits. With a clear understanding of your income and expenses, you can determine your monthly cash flow. This is calculated by subtracting your total monthly expenses from your total monthly income. If your income is greater than your expenses, you have a surplus, which is fantastic. If your expenses exceed your income, you have a deficit, and this is an area we'll need to address. Achieving and maintaining a positive cash flow is fundamental to building financial health. Finally, this initial checkup phase is the perfect time to define your financial goals. What do you want your money to help you achieve? It's incredibly helpful to frame these goals using the SMART criteria. That means making them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Think about short-term goals, like building an emergency fund or paying off a small, nagging debt within the next year. Then consider medium-term goals, perhaps saving for a down payment on a house or car, or funding further education in the next few years. And don't forget your long-term aspirations, such as ensuring a comfortable retirement or achieving complete financial independence decades down the line. Writing these goals down and making them SMART transforms vague wishes into concrete targets. Now that you have a clear understanding of your financial landscape, we move to step 2. Create your spending plan, budgeting that works for you. Many people hear the word budget and immediately think of restriction, of all the things they can't do or can't buy. But a budget isn't about limiting your life. It's about empowering you with control over your money. It's a plan that helps you direct your money towards the things that truly matter to you, including your financial goals. There are several popular budgeting methods and philosophies, and the best one is the one that resonates with you and your lifestyle. One widely known approach is the 50-30-20 rule. This suggests allocating about 50% of your net income to needs, things like housing, food, transportation, and essential bills. 30% is then allocated to wants. This could be dining out, hobbies, entertainment, or travel. The remaining 20% is directed towards savings and debt repayment. Another effective method is zero-based budgeting. With this system, every single dollar, pound, or rupee of your income is assigned a specific job. You allocate all your income to various expense categories, savings, and debt payments until your income minus your outgoings equals zero. This ensures that you're consciously deciding where all your money goes. For those who prefer a more tangible approach, the envelope system can be very effective, whether you use physical cash envelopes or digital versions offered by some apps. You allocate a certain amount of cash to different spending categories at the beginning of the month, and once an envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. A core principle that underpins many successful budgeting strategies is pay yourself first. This means that as soon as you receive your income, a predetermined amount is immediately allocated to your savings and investment goals before you start paying bills or spending on discretionary items. It prioritizes your future self. You might also explore creating a conscious spending plan, which focuses on aligning your spending habits with your core values. This involves identifying what truly brings you joy and fulfillment and directing your resources there, while consciously cutting back on things that don't add significant value to your life. Tailoring your budget is key. It should directly connect to the income, expenses, and financial goals you identified in step 1. If you have a regular income, perhaps from freelance work or a commission-based job, your budget will need to be flexible. You might budget based on your lowest anticipated monthly income and then have a plan for how to allocate any extra income in more prosperous months. When it comes to budgeting tools, you have many options. Spreadsheet templates can be incredibly useful, and you can often find simple ones online or even create your own. Many people swear by budgeting apps, which can automate tracking, categorize expenses, and provide visual reports. Look for apps that have good international support if you're outside a major market, or ones that cater specifically to your region. It's important to be aware of common budgeting pitfalls. One is being unrealistic, either by setting spending limits that are too restrictive or by forgetting certain expenses. Another is failing to track your spending consistently, which means your budget is just a theoretical exercise. Some people give up too soon if they overspend in one category, rather than adjusting and learning from it. And, of course, unexpected expenses can derail even the best-laid plans, which is why an emergency fund, which we'll discuss soon, is so crucial. Finally, make the budget review a regular ritual. This isn't a set-it-and-forget-it task, especially when you're starting out. Check in with your budget weekly or at least monthly. See how your actual spending compares to your plan, make adjustments as needed, and celebrate your successes. This regular engagement keeps your budget relevant and effective. With a budget in place, we arrive at step 3, build your safety net, the power of saving. Saving is the financial bedrock upon which your security, opportunities, and peace of mind are built. It's what protects you from life's unexpected turns and empowers you to pursue your goals. Your very first savings priority should be your emergency fund. Think of this as your personal financial safety net. An emergency is an unforeseen event that requires immediate funds, perhaps a job loss, an unexpected medical bill, or an urgent home or car repair. How much should you have in your emergency fund? A general guideline is to aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses. These are the non-negotiable costs you'd have to cover even if you lost your primary income source. Things like housing, food, utilities, and essential transportation. Where should you keep this emergency fund? It needs to be in an account that is liquid, meaning you can access the money quickly and easily without penalties. It also needs to be safe, so you're not risking its value. High-yield savings accounts, available in countries like the US and UK, can be a good option. In India, you might look at specific liquid funds or easily accessible savings schemes. The key is that it's separate from your everyday checking account to reduce the temptation to dip into it for non-emergencies. Beyond the emergency fund, you'll also want to save for specific goals. These are often called sinking funds. This involves breaking down larger, anticipated future expenses into smaller, manageable monthly savings targets. For example, if you know you want to take a vacation that will cost a certain amount in a year, you divide that cost by 12 and save that smaller amount each month. This could be for holidays, a down payment for a new car, annual insurance premiums, or even festive season spending. Choosing appropriate accounts for these goals depends on the time frame. Shorter-term goals might use savings accounts, while slightly longer ones could explore options offering a bit more return if appropriate. One of the most powerful strategies to ensure you save consistently is to automate your savings. This is the set-it-and-forget-it approach. Arrange for an automatic transfer from your main income account to your savings accounts on payday or the day after. When the money is moved before you even have a chance to spend it, saving becomes effortless. Looking for ways to boost your savings? There are many practical tips. Consider any found money, like a work bonus, a tax refund, or a small inheritance, as an opportunity to give your savings a significant boost rather than immediately spending it. You could try a no-spend challenge for a week or a month, where you only spend on absolute essentials, to see how much you can accumulate. Regularly review your subscriptions and memberships. Are there any you no longer use or need? Try negotiating your regular bills, like internet or phone services. Sometimes, a simple call can result in a lower rate. Underlying all these practical steps is a crucial mindset shift, moving from being primarily a spender to becoming a committed saver. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy your money. It means you learn to prioritize future security and goals alongside present enjoyment. We now turn to what can be a challenging but ultimately liberating step. Step 4. Conquer your debt. Strategies for freedom. Debt isn't inherently bad, but it's crucial to understand its nature. We can broadly categorize debt into good debt and bad debt. Good debt is typically an investment that can increase your net worth or future earning potential. Examples might include a mortgage on a home that appreciates in value or student loans that lead to higher career prospects, provided these are managed well and the terms are favorable. Bad debt, on the other hand, usually involves borrowing for depreciating assets or consumption, often at high interest rates. High-interest credit card balances used for everyday spending or payday loans fall squarely into this category. The first step in tackling debt is to know your enemy. You need a clear picture of everything you owe. Make a list of all your debts. For each one, note down the creditor, who you owe money to, the total amount outstanding, the interest rate or annual percentage rate, APR, and the minimum monthly payment. This comprehensive list is your starting point for creating a repayment plan. Once you have this information, you need to prioritize your debt repayment. While making at least the minimum payment on all debts is crucial to avoid penalties and protect your credit, your extra repayment efforts should strategically target certain debts first. Generally, it makes the most financial sense to focus on clearing high-interest debt first. as this is the debt that costs you the most money over time. There are two proven debt repayment strategies that many people find effective. The first is the debt snowball method. With this approach, you continue to make minimum payments on all your debts, but you throw every extra penny you can find at your smallest debt, regardless of its interest rate. Once that smallest debt is paid off, you take the money you were paying on it, both the minimum payment and the extra payments, and add it to the minimum payment of the next smallest debt. This creates a snowball effect, as the amount you're putting towards debt repayment grows with each debt you eliminate. The psychological wins from clearing debts quickly can be highly motivating. The second strategy is the debt avalanche method. Here, you also make minimum payments on all debts, but you direct all your extra funds towards the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that debt is paid off, you move on to the debt with the next highest interest rate, and so on. Mathematically, the debt avalanche method will save you more money on interest in the long run. The best strategy for you depends on your personality. If you need those quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball might be better. If you're driven by optimizing your finances, the avalanche is likely the way to go. Let's touch upon dealing with specific types of debt. Credit card debt, with its often high interest rates, can be particularly damaging. Look into options like balance transfers to a card with a 0% introductory offer, but be mindful of transfer fees and the rate that will apply after the introductory period ends. Don't be afraid to contact your credit card company to negotiate a lower interest rate or a hardship plan if you're struggling. Be aware of your consumer rights regarding debt collection, which vary by country. For example, there are specific regulations in the US, UK, and India. Student loans are another common form of debt. Explore all available repayment options. In the US, federal student loans have various income-driven repayment plans, as well as options for forbearance or deferment if you're facing financial hardship. The UK has its own student finance system with income-contingent repayments. In India, education loan schemes also have specific terms and repayment structures. Understand the terms of your specific loans. Personal loans, and especially payday loans, can be a dangerous trap due to extremely high interest rates and fees. If you're caught in a payday loan cycle, prioritize escaping it as quickly as possible, perhaps by seeking help from a nonprofit credit counseling service or exploring consolidation options, though be very wary of any that seem too good to be true. An important aspect of managing debt is understanding the role of your credit score or credit report. In India, this is often your CIBIL score. In the US and UK, agencies like Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion compile credit reports and calculate scores like the FICO score. Your credit score is a numerical representation of your creditworthiness and plays a significant role in your ability to borrow money, the interest rates you'll be offered, and sometimes even in renting an apartment or getting a job. It's vital to know how to check your score and review your credit report regularly for accuracy. Factors that affect your score include your payment history, the amount of debt you carry relative to your credit limits, the length of your credit history, the types of credit you use, and how often you apply for new credit. Improving your score generally involves paying bills on time, keeping credit card balances low, and avoiding unnecessary new credit applications. Finally, the most sustainable way to conquer debt is to avoid accumulating unnecessary new debt in the future. This comes back to living within your means, budgeting effectively, and making conscious spending decisions. Having laid the groundwork with understanding your finances, budgeting, saving, and tackling debt, we now arrive at an exciting stage. Step 5. Grow your wealth. Introduction to investing. You might wonder, if I'm saving money, why bother with investing? Savings are crucial for short-term goals and emergencies, providing stability. Investing, however, is about making your money work harder for you over the long term. One of the primary reasons to invest is to beat inflation. Inflation is the gradual increase in the cost of goods and services over time, which erodes the purchasing power of your saved cash. If your money is just sitting in a low-interest savings account, it might actually be losing value in real terms. Investing offers the potential for returns that can outpace inflation. Then there's the magic of compound growth, often called the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding happens when the returns your investments generate start generating their own returns. Imagine planting a seed, your initial investment. It grows into a plant that produces fruit, your returns. If you then plant the seeds from that fruit, you get more plants, which produce even more fruit. Over long periods, this effect can lead to substantial wealth accumulation, even from modest initial investments. Investing is also a key strategy for achieving significant long-term financial goals, most notably, a comfortable and secure retirement. Before you start, it's important to grasp some core investing concepts. First is the relationship between risk and reward. Generally, investments with the potential for higher returns also come with higher risk, meaning there's a greater chance you could lose some or all of your money. Conversely, lower-risk investments typically offer lower potential returns. Understanding your own tolerance for risk is crucial. Next is your investment horizon, which is the length of time you expect to keep your money invested before you need to access it. If you're investing for a goal that's many decades away, like retirement, you can generally afford to take on more risk for potentially higher growth. If your goal is just a few years away, you'll likely want to choose more conservative investments. Diversification is a fundamental principle. You've probably heard the saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." In investing, this means spreading your money across different types of investments, industries, and geographical regions. If one investment performs poorly, others may perform well, helping to reduce your overall risk. Let's briefly go over some common investment types, keeping it simple for now. Stocks, also known as shares or equities, represent ownership in a company. When you buy a stock, you become a part owner of that business. The value of stocks can rise and fall based on the company's performance and broader market conditions. You might hear about major stock market indices like the S&P 500 in the US, the FTSE 100 in the UK, or the Nifty 50 and Sensex in India, which track the performance of a basket of leading companies. Bonds, or fixed-income securities, are essentially loans you make to a government or a corporation. In return for your loan, they promise to pay you a fixed amount of interest over a set period and then return your principal amount at the end of that period, known as the maturity date. Bonds are generally considered less risky than stocks. Mutual funds and exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, are pooled investments. Many investors contribute to a fund, which is then managed by a professional fund manager, in the case of most mutual funds, or tracks a specific market index, as many ETFs do. These funds invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, or other assets. They offer an easy way for individual investors to achieve instant diversification, even with small amounts of money. For our Indian audience, the concept of a systematic investment plan, or SIP, is a very popular way to invest regularly in mutual funds. Real estate is another common investment, which can involve directly buying property or investing in real estate investment trusts, known as REITs, which are companies that own or finance income-producing real estate. A crucial part of investing, especially for long-term goals like retirement, involves utilizing specific retirement accounts that often come with tax advantages. In the U.S., these include accounts like the 401k, typically offered by employers, and individual retirement accounts, or IRAs, which can be traditional or Roth. UK listeners will be familiar with workplace pensions and self-invested personal pensions, SIPs, as well as stocks and shares ISAs, which offer tax-efficient investing. In India, the National Pension System, NPS, Public Provident Fund, PPF, and Employees Provident Fund, EPF, are key vehicles for retirement savings and investment. So, how do you actually get started with investing? First, clearly define your investment goals and assess your risk tolerance. What are you investing for, and how comfortable are you with potential fluctuations in your investment values? Next, you'll need to choose a platform or broker to buy and sell investments. There are many online brokers available, and it's wise to look for those with low fees and a good reputation. The importance of research and due diligence cannot be overstated. Understand what you're investing in before you commit your money. There are some key principles for successful long-term investing. Firstly, invest for the long term. Don't get caught up in short-term market noise. Secondly, don't try to time the market. That is, trying to predict when prices will go up or down. It's notoriously difficult, even for professionals. Instead, a strategy like dollar cost averaging or rupee cost averaging in India, which involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of market fluctuations, can be very effective. This helps to average out your purchase price over time. Finally, always be mindful of fees, as they can significantly eat into your returns over the long run. As a beginner, it's also wise to be aware of common investing mistakes. These include investing in things you don't understand, letting emotions drive your decisions, like panic selling during market downturns or getting greedy during market highs, chasing hot tips, and not diversifying enough. We now move into part 3, securing your future and staying on track. This begins with step 6, plan for the future, long-term financial strategy. Holistic financial planning is about seeing the big picture. It's about integrating all the steps we've discussed, budgeting, saving, debt management, and investing, into a cohesive strategy that aligns with your major life goals and provides long-term security. A significant component of this is retirement planning. We touched on retirement accounts earlier, but let's delve a little deeper. A key question is estimating your retirement needs. How much money will you actually need to live comfortably in retirement? This involves considering your desired lifestyle, expected expenses, healthcare costs, and longevity. Once you have an estimate, you can work backwards to figure out how much you need to save and invest regularly. Maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged retirement accounts should be a priority. It's also useful to have a basic understanding of withdrawal strategies for when you eventually start drawing income from your retirement funds. Though this is a complex area often best discussed with a financial advisor closer to retirement. Insurance plays a vital role in protecting what you've built. It's a safety net against unforeseen events that could otherwise derail your financial plan. Health insurance is absolutely critical, especially in countries like the US with high healthcare costs. In the UK, while the National Health Service provides comprehensive care, private health insurance can offer additional benefits. In India, various health insurance policies are available to cover medical expenses. Life insurance provides financial protection for your dependents if you were to pass away. Term life insurance, which covers you for a specific period, is often the most cost-effective option for most people, providing a death benefit if you die within the term. Whole life insurance is more complex and expensive, combining a death benefit with a cash value savings component. Deciding when and how much life insurance you need depends on your personal circumstances, such as whether you have children, a mortgage, or other financial obligations that would fall on others. Disability insurance is also important, as it replaces a portion of your income if you become unable to work due to illness or injury. Many people overlook this, but the risk of disability can be higher than the risk of premature death for much of your working life. Homeowners or renters insurance protects your dwelling and belongings against damage or theft. Auto insurance is typically mandatory and covers damage and liability related to your vehicle. Basic estate planning is something everyone should consider, regardless of their age or wealth. At its simplest, this means having a will, which is a legal document outlining how you want your assets to be distributed after your death. It also involves designating beneficiaries for your financial accounts, retirement plans, and life insurance policies. This ensures your assets go to the people you intend, often bypassing the lengthy probate process. While we're keeping this general, estate planning can be complex, and it's always advisable to seek professional legal consultation for your specific situation. Throughout your life, you'll be setting and reviewing major life financial goals. This could be buying a home, which involves saving for a down payment and understanding mortgage options. It might be funding your children's education, which requires long-term savings and investment strategies. Or it could be starting a business or planning for extensive travel. Your financial plan should accommodate these evolving goals. There will likely come a time when you might consider seeking professional help. Financial advisors can assist with various aspects of your financial plan, from investment management to retirement planning and estate planning. It's important to understand the different types of advisors. For example, fee-only advisors are compensated solely by the fees they charge you directly, which can help to minimize conflicts of interest. Commission-based advisors earn commissions from selling financial products. When looking for an advisor, ask about their qualifications, experience, how they are compensated, and their investment philosophy. Look for relevant certifications such as Certified Financial Planner, CFP, or check with regulatory bodies in your region. Our final core step, Step 7, is all about how to maintain momentum, financial discipline, and lifelong learning. The journey to financial well-being is a marathon, not a sprint. The power of consistency and patience cannot be overstated. Small, Regular actions sustained over long periods will have a far greater impact than sporadic, large efforts. There will be ups and downs, but staying the course with your financial plan is key. This requires regular financial check-ins and plan adjustments. At least once a year, take the time to conduct a thorough review of your overall financial plan. Are you on track to meet your goals? Do your investment allocations still align with your risk tolerance and time horizon? Life changes, such as getting married, having children, changing jobs, or receiving an inheritance, will necessitate adjustments to your plan. Be prepared to adapt. Continuing your financial education is also crucial. The financial world is constantly evolving, with new products, regulations, and economic conditions. Make it a habit to learn. There are many reputable resources available, from books and blogs to podcasts and online courses. Perhaps you'll find more valuable content right here on the Money Deconstructed channel. Stay informed about financial news, but do so with a critical eye, avoiding hype and focusing on long-term fundamentals. Life will inevitably bring financial setbacks and occasionally windfalls. You might face a job loss or an unexpected large expense. This is where your emergency fund becomes invaluable, providing a cushion to navigate these challenges without derailing your long-term plan. If you receive a financial windfall, like a significant bonus or an inheritance, take your time to make smart decisions. Resist the urge to spend it all immediately. Consider using it to pay down debt, boost your investments, or top up your emergency fund. Underpinning all of this is the psychology of money, developing a healthy financial mindset. This involves working to overcome any fear and anxiety you might have around money. It means avoiding the comparison trap, where you measure your financial success against others, which can lead to dissatisfaction and poor decisions. Instead, focus on your own journey and your own goals. Cultivate an abundance mindset, believing in your ability to achieve financial well-being, rather than a scarcity mindset that focuses on lack. And optionally, as your financial situation improves, you might consider the joy of giving and integrating philanthropy into your financial plan. Supporting causes you care about can be an incredibly rewarding aspect of financial success. And that brings us to our conclusion. Part 4, you've got this. Your financial future starts now. We've covered a lot of ground together. We've walked through the 7 core steps to managing your money, from understanding your numbers and creating a budget, to building your savings, conquering debt, venturing into investing, planning for your long-term future, and finally, maintaining momentum through discipline and lifelong learning. The most important message we want to leave you with is one of empowerment. You now have the knowledge and the framework to take control of your financial life. It might seem like a lot, but remember, the journey ahead is made up of small, manageable steps. Each positive action you take, no matter how minor it may seem, contributes to a significant impact over time. Our call to action for you today is simple. Take the very first step. Don't wait for the perfect time, because that time is now. Perhaps today you'll calculate your net worth for the first time. Or maybe you'll track just one day's spending to start getting a handle on where your money goes. Or you could open that dedicated savings account for your emergency fund. Whatever it is, do something. Thank you for joining us for These Are the Steps to Manage Your Money. We encourage you to subscribe to the Money Deconstructed channel for ongoing support, insights, and more content designed to help you master your finances. You've got this. Your financial future starts now.